Well, good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Barry McKnight, John Longshore. You're wondering where we are? It says it right here, MGM. We're at the Montgomery Regional Airport, getting better the more you use it.
You should have seen him. I'm so proud of him. Getting here early.
I was here
We
early.
both were here early. Old Quentin Tarantino Longshore over here. He's, doing this and checking everything out.
Yeah.
And he picked the perfect background. I mean, you got the Christmas tree here. You got the MGM down below us. You got the snow drifts and everything, like with all that, with the Christmas tree bulbs and everything. This is beautiful.
It
This
is
beautiful.
They've done a great job here inside the terminal at MGM. And, of course, it's a beautiful morning to fly. As I pulled in today, Barry, the three early morning departures, we're getting ready: Atlanta, Charlotte, and Dallas, Fort Worth. And I got to tell you, I've been to MGM many a time. I don't think I've ever seen the de-icing machine working. I mean, they were out there de-icing this jet that was headed out early this morning. Just, for precautionary reasons. I guess if it gets below a certain temperature at night, you got to de-ice them. And, man, they were out there checking that out. And that was kind of neat. But a lot going on here at MGM. And we're going to be telling you about it throughout the morning. Of course, the Montgomery Regional Airport, Barry, is our prize sponsor for the Longshore McKnight Bold Prediction Contest, which is up and running. But you got till noon on Saturday, and after 12 noon at Saturday, there are no more excuses.
This is what I can't get used to. For all the years that you and I have done the bold prediction contest and the NCAA basketball tournament contest, I'm going to Yellowhammer News. Today, I'm going to actually enter in my picks. You go to yellowhammernews.com, and it's right up there at the very top.
Yeah.
You don't have to scroll down and look behind, something about sweet heat pork rinds or something. I mean, it's right there. Right there, right next to Roger Jenkins, appointed to the Region's Financial Corp Bank Board of Directors.
How about that?
Longshore and McKnight. I love it.
Yep, you just click that icon, Barry, and then everything's there for you. I mean, some instructions, fill a couple of things out, then start clicking those teams. We make the bowl season fun. I mean, really, are you going to be watching the Pop-Tart Bowl? Well, you are now, because you're going to have a winner in that game.
This is what I like about the new setup with the playoffs and all of that, the expanded playoffs, is the first bowl games are actually this weekend.
Yeah.
It begins in Montgomery on Saturday night, South Alabama versus Western Michigan. It's great. We're looking forward to it, but it also means you ain't got a whole lot of time to dilly-dally around, You better get those in at yellowhammernews.com and get those ready, because over here at Crampton Bowl, by the way, both Western Michigan and South Alabama, the teams, the staffs, the fans, all flying into the Montgomery Regional Airport. When that toe hits leather in that game, which is right after the Heisman Trophy, then our bowl prediction entries are done. All you're doing after that is seeing how close you can come to winning that travel voucher from the Montgomery Regional Airport.
WWW. That might be an L or two. I don't think anybody's going to sweep the bowl prediction board. That'd be amazing.
Never happened.
But you're going to be putting a lot of W's by the team, and we're just picking straight up. Just give us the winner in the bowl prediction contest. Go to yellowhammernews.com. The icon is right there on the homepage. You can't miss it. Get in by noon on Saturday, and you'll be ready to go for the bowl prediction contest. And as Barry mentioned, the bowl game right here in Montgomery, 8 o'clock Saturday night at Crampton Bowl, Western Michigan, South Alabama. That's going to be a good one. You're right. I know downtown Montgomery, Barry, they're getting ready. All the hotels, restaurants, all the tourist attractions for these teams to enjoy themselves before the big game on Saturday. As Barry mentioned, we're here at the Montgomery Regional Airport, getting better the more you use it. A $1,000 travel voucher. You can go wherever you like if you are the overall grand prize winner, sponsored by the Montgomery Regional Airport. Well, we're already getting them on the chat line, Barry. People want to know, good morning, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
The hoodie to North Carolina.
We have got probably, if we wanted to, we have this option. The most loaded topic wheel we've had for a Thursday ever. We have got that. By the way, one quick thing, actually two quick things. Senator Tommy Tuberville.
Oh, yeah.
He will join us next week.
You know, Barry, when they send the email, I think it's important that I look at the date that they're saying.
Right.
I just saw Thursday. I didn't see Thursday, December 19th.
Yes.
That's what I did not see.
Right.
My bad.
Yeah. But it's funny because Tuberville staff, they're like, dang, we can't get away from the Longshores. His daughter called him yesterday and said, hey, I was over in the market. His daughter lives in the D.C. area. And I ran into Senator Tuberville. He's like, they're like hogs around here.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. She flew back with him.
It's like the Board of Trustees in Auburn. I can't get away from it.
She flew back with him the Sunday after Thanksgiving from MGM direct to Washington. They were on the flight together and bump into each other at the market yesterday. And it's interesting because I was communicating with Tuberville's press secretary at the same time. Small world. But yeah, he'll join us next week. Jason Caldwell at the bottom of this hour. Auburn Undercover. Rodney Orr, Tider Insider. Top of the next hour. A lot of transfer news. A lot of opt-outs, a lot of bowl stuff. So we got a lot to talk about.
And, of course, we're going to talk about Belichick to North Carolina. Belichick to North Carolina, but this is also one of John's favorite days of the sporting year.
Mm-hmm.
They have released the 2025 SEC football schedule. Did that yesterday just as a little taste, just as a little appetizer. Week 1 now, officially, of the SEC schedule. Alabama A&M at Arkansas, Long Island at Florida.
Whoa.
As God is my witness, I knew Long Island had a basketball team, the Blackbirds, under legendary coach Claire B. Long Island at Florida.
New York?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I never heard. Okay, go ahead.
Toledo at Kentucky. Georgia State at Ole Miss.
Ooh.
Friends, it doesn't end there. Central Arkansas, the Bears at Missouri. Illinois State at Oklahoma. So, I'm telling you. Now, also, to be fair, there's also Alabama at Florida State, Auburn at Baylor, LSU at Clemson, Tennessee versus Syracuse and Atlanta, a little bit too much orange, and Texas at Ohio State.
Let me go ahead.
It all begins on August the 30th.
Yes, it does. Football season in the month of August in 2025. I'm going to go ahead and make just a slight prediction here, Barry. Auburn Baylor will be the 11 o'clock ABC game. LSU at Clemson will be the 2:30 game. And Alabama at Florida State will be at night. Is it Doak Campbell in Tallahassee?
Doak Campbell Stadium.
I've never been to that stadium before.
Oh my gosh, I've been there 100 million times. I used to work the sidelines there. Texas, Ohio State that day, John.
That is that a Fox game?
Texas, Ohio State.
At
Should
Ohio
be.
State. That's big noon kickoff.
Big noon kickoff.
Big noon kickoff.
There you go. So it could be of those teams, Clemson could be moved tonight.
Possibly.
If you can position that as LSU, the two Death Valleys meeting, Clemson, the defending national champion.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, or Texas.
Should I know this?
Or Ohio State. That may be a rematch of the national championship game this year. Who knows?
Yeah, that definitely could be. What network handles the ACC? Is it? It can't be ABC because there's always.
It's ESPN.
Yeah,
right?
okay. So what I'm thinking.
Their own ACC
so maybe Clemson LSU will be a ESPN matchup. I know we're way ahead, but I love to plan ahead.
Yeah,
you know me. You're right, Barry. Texas at Ohio State could be at least a playoff rematch.
Yeah.
If anything, that's a big one in week 1. So does it look like they're going to soften the schedules up for next year? I guess they're already locked and loaded. Can't jump ship now. After what Nick Saban said after Alabama got snubbed in the college football playoff this year. But those are some interesting matchups. And as you go down to week 3, Barry, Wisconsin at Alabama, the Crimson Tide's going to play 2 Power 5 teams in one season out of conference? Wow.
Unless Greg Byrne devalues that like he was thinking that he might.
That's a pretty good schedule there to kick things off. Glad the SEC gave that to us. So now, Barry, what I really get excited about those when we go to media days and they give us the kickoff times. Now, I kind of knew these games
How-
were on the
how does-
schedules. I got to have kickoff time.
Look, I mean, I love college football. I work college football. I live and breathe college football. Love it, love it, love it. It is so funny what flutters his skirts. Oh boy, kickoff times. Kickoff times. I can't wait. Say, Fred, do you think that game will be at 2:30? 11? Come on. Oh, you know. Oh, well, man, that one might be a 7 o'clock game. Well, they might move it to 6 if they. He adores that stuff.
I do. I love the kickoff times.
Yeah.
But, Barry, I got to tell you this as well, and I know we're going to move on to the hoodie. I don't think Alabama has ever played Eastern Illinois. I know they played Northern Illinois,
And lost.
but I don't think they played Eastern Illinois.
Eastern Illinois is in Macomb, Illinois. I have actually broadcast from there before.
Wow.
I'll never forget. It was a men's basketball game. It was Education Day, so we played it at noon, and all the kids are screaming and everything. So this is Alabama's non-conference schedule that Greg Burns says he probably might as well just go ahead and de-emphasize. At Florida State, ULM in week 2.
ULM's beaten them before.
Yeah, what is this? A reunion tour of and then Wisconsin at home before an open date. Alabama opens SEC play at Georgia.
Yeah. Ugh.
And then later on, they got that. Well, they got Tennessee at home. They got Vanderbilt at home, LSU, Oklahoma at home, Eastern Illinois right before the Iron Bowl.
Some pretty good, some pretty tough road conference games, Barry. If you look at this year's schedule, based on where they're going next year, at Georgia, at Missouri, at South Carolina, at Auburn. Of course, Auburn the weaker of those 4 road conference games.
Yeah,
just based on this year's record.
Now, based on this year, where Auburn had a really, really difficult schedule, it was crazy. 5 straight games at home. A couple of things. Now Auburn's schedule flips. At Baylor, then Ball State and South Alabama. That South Alabama thing, I'm so mad at Auburn right now. You could have had Troy for years and years and years, but now you scheduled South Alabama.
Come on. What's up with that?
I don't get it.
They're scared of them, Barry. They're scared of them.
Baylor on the road, Ball State at home, South Alabama at home. First SEC game at Oklahoma. Second SEC game at Texas A&M. So the first 2 are on the road. Auburn doesn't play a home SEC game until week 7 of the SEC schedule.
Wow.
They play Georgia October the 11th.
Yeah, Barry, what is
You're
South
3
Alabama
weeks-
doing on Auburn's schedule? Now that I'm looking at it, now, I heard you say it, but it just didn't hit
Drives
me
me
until I
nuts.
saw it.
Drives me nuts.
Why
Why in the world South Alabama? How many conference championships have they won? 0.
Hey, maybe that's why they're playing them.
Well, here we go. We got South Alabama. All the people in town from South Alabama,
Yeah.
they may be watching and saying, "Wonder World McKnight's part." Hey, my son and my daughter-in-law have degrees from South
There
Alabama.
you have it.
I spent a lot of money at South Alabama. But why in the world them and not Troy?
Yeah, well, they're
Yeah, I
scared.
don't-
We know the answer
Anyway,
to that.
later on, Auburn's home SEC schedule, Georgia, Alabama at home, along with Missouri and Kentucky.
Was Mercer
That
a
helps.
package deal? Play Alabama one year and Auburn the next?
They've done that stuff before. I don't know what it is about Mercer, but both Auburn and Alabama love it. We'll go over, some of the high points of the SEC schedule a little bit later on.
And I got to tell you, Barry, I like Auburn's schedule. I'm with you. They
I
don't
do
play
too.
a conference game till mid-October against Georgia.
A conference game at home. Yes.
Yeah, but Baylor's winnable. Ball State, South Alabama, sure. At Oklahoma and at Texas A&M. That's an interesting 2-game schedule right there in late September, both on the road. Missouri at home, Kentucky at home, at Vanderbilt. Not expecting the Commodores to be what they were last year. Bama at home. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm looking 8-4 right now. 8-4
You
right now.
say that before every year. The only other thing I've got about the SEC schedule is who in the SEC office do the administrators at Texas have pictures of, compromising photographs of? Because the second straight year, Texas has an absolute cakewalk They go to Georgia. That's it. And that's as late as they can possibly get it. What gives with Texas? Why are they absolutely fluffing up Texas's pillows and freshening their sheets and putting an extra peppermint on the pillowcase? Good God.
I'm with you. They're 4 straight non-conference games opening up at Ohio State, then San Jose, UTEP, Sam Houston.
Yes.
Then they start playing conference games, but you're right, Barry. They're at Georgia in mid-November, Texas A&M at the end of the year, another cakewalk in terms of conference scheduling.
There's no LSU. There's no
the Longhorns.
There's no LSU. There's no Tennessee.
No Alabama.
No Alabama.
No Auburn.
Their road games in the league are at Florida, at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, and then at Georgia.
Get ready for Texas to have another big year next year. Scheduling is going to help. All right, we're here live at the Montgomery Regional Airport, getting better the more you use it. Convenience, economical, less hassle. When you travel, you don't have to deal with all of that. Parking just a few short steps away. You can probably see the parking area behind us here.
You might see my car. It's right over there. It's just awesome.
Yeah, park, zip into the terminal, quick check-in. Heck, if you don't have any baggage, you go straight to TSA, board your plane, get ready to go, enjoy some Dunkin' Donuts coffee, or if it's a little later in the day, a cocktail up there at runway 27, and board your flight to Atlanta, Charlotte, DFW, or Reagan's, Washington National to make connections throughout the world, all over the globe. It's so easy. It's so convenient. As we like to talk about, Barry, the best part about it is when you're heading home, you're home.
Now, all you got to do, find out more. We can tell you everything we can, and there's a lot to tell. But go to flymgm.com and travel above at the Montgomery Regional Airport.
When we return, Barry, the hoodie to Chapel Hill, we're going to talk about that when we get back. Also, Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover at the bottom of this hour.
Live from the Montgomery Regional Airport in conjunction with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Book tee time sooner. Save on every round. That's what you get with the 2025 RTJ Trail Card. Destination golf is closer than you might think. Buy a 2025 Trail Card and save every time you play. Plus, you will be automatically entered into the Trails Loyalty Program. Enjoy 10-day advance reservation privileges at each location. 11-day advanced internet tee times on rtjgolf.com and the RTJ app. Enjoy the benefits of a 2025 Trail Card. It makes for a great stocking stuffer, and you save on every round you play in 2025 on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. Better the more you use it. So I guess, Barry, the big bolt, the big shock across the sports world, the hoodie. Bill Belichick is actually going to coach football at North Carolina.
Can we go ahead and nip this in the bud? Because if we keep calling him the hoodie for the rest of his career, I'm gonna get a little bit nauseous about it. The hoodie. Bill Belichick. This has so many ramifications to it. 6 Super Bowls. I think he's lost 4 Super Bowls or something like that. Is now going into the college game. He evidently submitted a 400-page report synopsis
Man.
of exactly what it would look like if he got the head coaching job at North Carolina.
400 pages?
What the somebody was kidding around. That's the only time anybody at North Carolina has ever written 400 pages of anything. But
I don't think I wrote 400 pages my entire college career.
yeah,
Sheesh.
well,
I think that to me, what I wonder what was in the 400 pages. I mean, what is he saying?
everything from staffing, what his staff would look like, who
Yeah.
he would hire, how much he would pay, how does the NIL looks, how will the payments look, what will it take NIL wise, what's his philosophy on recruiting, everything you possibly can, and send it to them. A lot of them there, a lot of the people in the search committee loved it. Holy smokes, Belichick, he's 72 years old, but my gosh, we will command the college football space for a long time. The board of trustees, they were a little bit of a tougher sell. How will he look after our student athletes, and their welfare? Because we have seen him yelling at players on the sidelines. There was one guy, a great video where one of his players, one of his special teams guys, I can't think of his name, recovered a fumble on special teams, and he ran over to the sidelines and he was handing it to Belichick. Belichick looked at him like, "What in the bleep do you want me to do with this?
Yeah,
I gotta figure out what's up next, And he's holding out the football, and then he tucked it back and he went back behind it. That's mean to those college kids. They finally figured it all out. It's going to be 3 years. $30 million. They are pumping money into the NIL, something like $20 million there, which would get them on par with the Texases and Ohio States and Georgias of the world. But there's also the rumor that his son, whose name is Steve Belichick, who was an assistant with him at New England for a while. He's now an assistant coach at the University of Washington. That there's going to be a sort of a coach in waiting kind of thing. Belichick will be the coach for 3 years, and then his son will take over, and Belichick will go retire with his young girlfriend, and he has set up his son in the collegiate coaching world, and life is good. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I got obviously a lot of questions. Belichick has never coached college football before.
He's never been a head coach in college football.
Head coach in college football. His son, I believe, is a coordinator with the Jets.
I think he's with Washington. I think he's with the University of Washington.
Or University of Washington.
Yes.
So, assistant coach on the collegiate level. I do wonder how much of this is as a publicity stunt. What resume does Stephen Belichick have? The 3 years under his father in Chapel Hill, is that going to be enough? What is the recruiting going to look like? I certainly don't see Belichick knocking on doors and sitting at kitchen tables. I see him doing Zoom calls for about maybe 5 minutes. Certainly, he's selling 6 Super Bowl rings.
Yep.
He's selling, I've coached the best player to ever play in the NFL, and Tom Brady. I get it.
I thought you meant Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
So, did
blame
Deion
freeze.
ever play for Belichick? I don't think
No,
he did.
he did not. But also, what he's selling is the fact that this is great ramifications for everything. He is selling, this is an NFL model for college football. Deion's done it to a degree. Deion's done it. Look, we're going to pay the players. We're going to, do all this. We're not going to be ashamed at how we, acquire talent.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get transfers in here. And if you don't cut it, we're going to get you out of here and get more transfers in here next year, kind of heartless and everything, which is not necessarily the college model. Deion has played in the NFL. He's an NFL Hall of Famer. John says he should be a baseball Hall of Famer too.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he's not won 6 Super Bowls. Belichick can sell to these kids, look, you're going to make some really good NIL money. You're going to go and you want to get ready for the NFL? The NFL, get ready for this college program that's modeled on the NFL model. with a coach who has won more Super Bowls than anybody who's currently drawing breath on the planet Earth.
You know, Barry, it's interesting what you first started talking about, with the board of trustees feeling about Belichick. He's mean to his players or whatever. I don't see Belichick being touchy-feely. He's going to look at this roster and he's going to call these kids in one at a time, or might do it in a group. You're out. You're no good. You suck. I don't want to hear it. Hit the door.
Yes.
Like he would in the NFL. I mean, the NFL's a business. It's cutthroat. If you're not making it, you're gone. Can he? I guess he can. I mean, in this day and age, if it's NIL, if they're paying you, if you're building rosters, if you're going through the transfer portal, and some coaches subtly push people out. I don't think Belichick does anything subtly.
I do think that with the way he does things, one of my favorite things to watch in here is going to be how well he goes along with the Ram Club, which is the University of North Carolina, their booster club.
You think he's making any speaking engagements?
It's their version of Tide Pride or Auburn Ignited or whatever like that. How many times is he going to be going to a Ram Club function, $100 a plate in Carrboro, North Carolina, or Rockingham or Asheville or something like that? How many times is a alum going to come up to him and say, "Hey, Bill, look, I've been a part of this program. I've been given to the Rams Club for 40 years.
Forget it.
Man, I have had a hand in the hiring. Chiswick as defensive coordinator, Mac Brown, all of these guys. Let me tell you, this is what you need to do." How fast do you think he'll get shut down?
How do you think? Yeah, he's not going to listen to him. Going to keep walking. How do you think Mac Brown feels today? Mac Brown, a year older than Belichick. Belichick 72, Brown 73. Brown's going, wait a minute. You brought in a guy a year younger than me. What's going on here? And you think Belichick ripped off a call to Saban and said, "Nick, you think I should do this? You just got out. Should I do it? Should I get in?"
Speaking of Saban, the rumor is that if this thing with Belichick had fallen through, and I believe at the very end, Belichick was holding all the cards. He had said, "Look, here's my presentation. This is what I believe. This is what I bring to the table. If you guys meet that, give me a call back and let me know. If you're otherwise, I'm gonna be at the beach and everything." When that finally came down, if it had not happened, the rumor is that the next North Carolina head coach was going to be Tommy Rees, former Alabama offensive coordinator, former Notre Dame offensive coordinator, who it is said would have had Saban's blessing and backing for that job.
Very interesting. Well, I think Belichick to North Carolina is certainly going to cause a lot of buzz. I know we're going to talk a little bit further in detail, maybe on the topic wheel. We'll see when we do our Victoryland 777 topic wheel later on. But Bob from Pike Road earlier today on our River Region Straw chat line asked an interesting question, wanting to know our thoughts about Nick Saban insinuating that the SEC and the Big Ten will one day break off and form their own league. He mentioned it in the telecast Sunday. I did not hear that, Bob, but we've been talking about that. I do think there is some discussion. There has been about the Big Ten and the SEC and several other schools at some point in time breaking off and doing their own thing. I think you'd also have to incorporate Notre Dame, probably Clemson, Florida State, a handful of other schools out there as well that would want to get in, but I don't think it's that far-fetched. Look, they're in it to look out for themselves. How the college football playoff broke out this year probably didn't go over real well in offices at the Big Ten and the SEC. So, yeah, I'm not saying never say never, but I think it could happen at one point in time.
I'm not saying never say never either. Who knows what happens? I'm already shocked at the way things are going down in college football over the last couple of years. I think the more likely thing would be that the SEC and the Big Ten join forces and lobbyists and ultimately force college football's hand to expand the playoff in 2026. If they get four, they're not going to call them automatic qualifiers. If they get four, a virtual guarantee of four in every playoff, and I'm talking SEC 4, Big Ten 4, everybody else can split the other 8. I think the SEC and the Big Ten will be absolutely fine. You don't need to go whole hog in this and break off into your own deal and all of the headaches that are involved with that, when basically all they really want is a minimum of 4 teams each in the college football play.
And, also on the chat line, does this help North Carolina's chances of maybe one day getting into the SEC with Bill Belichick as their coach? I don't think so. I don't think the SEC would want North Carolina just because Belichick's there. The SEC would want North Carolina because of the state of North Carolina, Charlotte, Raleigh. I mean, that's a big market they would love to be in. I'm not sure who the head coach has that much bearing on it. All right, Barry, when we return, our friend Jason Caldwell, he's fit Auburn undercover. He's going to join us when we return, broadcasting live on this beautiful Thursday morning from the Montgomery Regional Airport.
He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
You know all about the 12 Days of Christmas, but what about the 12 Days of Dixie? We're giving away 12 of this year's hottest holiday gifts. Just go to facebook.com/Dixie Electric Plumbing Air and comment on the daily prize post using the hashtag 12 Days of Dixie, and you're automatically entered to win. The winner's name is posted on Facebook the following day with the opportunity to enter daily. The 12 Days of Dixie is going on right now.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
The Victoryland Casino 8 Days of Giveaways is going on now. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. We're giving away $125,000 in free play and cash. That's right, Victoryland Casino is giving away $125,000 in free play and cash. Come play the latest and greatest games featuring exciting bonuses and huge jackpots. There's always more ways to win at Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy on this beautiful Thursday. Great day to fly from the Montgomery Regional Airport. Of course, they are awarding a $1,000 travel voucher to our bold prediction contest winner. Go to yellowhammernews.com. It's right there on their homepage. You'll see the Longshore McKnight icon, bold prediction contest. Click it, submit the information they're asking for. Pick your teams, and you could be flying off to a destination of your choice from the Montgomery Regional Airport. Joining us now, Jason Caldwell, Auburn undercover, as he does each and every Thursday. Jason, good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Morning, guys. How are y'all?
We're doing really, really well. Great to have you with us. Catch us up on the calendar right now. Transfer portal. Who do we know is in and visiting, and is it this weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty much all the time now. Got a couple of guys on campus right now. Eric Singleton, wide receiver, who's maybe the top wide receiver in the whole portal, is a guy that is already on campus for Auburn today. He'll actually be leaving this afternoon. You also have a quarterback, Malik Murphy, from Duke, that's on campus, and he'll be leaving today. And then Jackson Arnold will be in later this afternoon to take a visit, the Oklahoma quarterback. So got a couple of those guys in. You also have a running back from UConn that's on campus, and so it's kind of starting a little bit, and that's what you're talking about. I think you'll have a UCF cornerback as well that's going to visit, potentially Ahmad Hardy, the ULM running back. We'll see what happens there. But Darrell Robinson is the running back that's on campus now. And so you start talking about a couple of positions here. Be an offensive lineman from from Northwestern in on campus. So yeah, it's just it's kind of a free for all. It's the way that the portal works. You try to get guys on campus, and if it's a guy you want, try to get it wrapped up and get it done. And so we'll see what they're able to do. Obviously, a lot of eyes focusing on the quarterback position for Auburn, and what happens there. And I would think that they're going to do their darndest to try to get Malik Murphy or Jackson Arnold in the house, to try to get that next step started with their quarterback.
Jason, I'd heard earlier in the week and haven't heard much of it since, that Auburn would like to try to get 2 quarterbacks in the transfer portal. If that is the case, how do you keep 2 transfer quarterbacks happy?
Well, your second guy has to be a guy that understands what you're doing and kind of the role. And so it looks like right now that there's a kid from Stanford that will be graduating in the spring. He would not be done early. He's from Beaufort, Georgia, would like to come back closer to home and kind of finish his career, and understands, hey, I might have a role as a maybe potential runner and do some things like that. But I think that's the kind of second guy you would have to find in this process. And so I think that's probably going to happen. And so if you do that, then you would have a second guy that's an older guy. You bring in 2 quarterbacks that are older. One of them would only be a year, potentially. You might have 2 years from somebody else. But I think it would have to be somebody that understands the role of, hey, we're bringing you in. But it's also somebody that says, hey, I just want to come be at Auburn for a year. And so I think that's what you're looking for.
There's a lot of people right now that are probably crossing every finger and everything, hoping that Auburn brings in for a lot of visits, a lot of offensive tackles. Jason, is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think that's the goal. I told people, I said, I think it's probably more difficult to find legitimate SEC level offensive tackles in the portal than it is quarterbacks. I think they're harder to find than a quarterback is.
You said that about high school recruiting too.
It is. It's the most difficult position to find. First of all, you got to have 2 of them, and you probably need 3. Whereas quarterback, you go, well, you'd like to have a second or third guy that you can count on, but most teams, you don't ever get to a third guy before you start looking for another guy at quarterback. So they're more difficult to find than ever. You got a couple of guys, that are out there that you're working on. One a kid from Kansas State is a guy that you're trying to potentially get there. There's a kid from Stanford, and then Northwestern. So there's 3 or 4 out there that Auburn is in on, and it's going to be a very attractive place because you're looking at it. So look, there's going to be an opportunity here. I think it's the same thing for quarterback. You're going, hey, you're going to have an immediate opportunity to come in and. Auburn potentially, you could get Dylan Wade back and Jeremiah Wright, so you could have potentially Dylan Wade as a starting right tackle next year, which I think would be a good thing to have. But you're also bringing in a couple of guards to kind of bolster the interior too, and so I think you look and you go, there's certain spots, but obviously quarterback is probably 1A, offensive tackle is probably 1B, for them in the portal right now.
Now, Jason, if I'm not mistaken, you're at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game or have been there?
That's right. I'm this hotel room backdrop behind me here. But yeah, we got another practice this morning and then head home. So we were there down here in Mobile for 2 practices yesterday. And obviously, there's 10 guys here that signed with Auburn, 9 on Team Alabama, and then Deuce Knight in Mississippi. So we'll today talk to most, if not all of them before we go. Switch to portal mode and then switch to basketball mode as well. I'll be in Atlanta Saturday for the Auburn Ohio State basketball game. So there's a whole lot going on with portal, kind of right smack dab in the middle of everything.
In the middle of literally everything. Set up that Auburn Ohio State basketball game, where it stands in the pre-conference schedule and where it positions itself nationally, Jason.
Yeah, Ohio State's a solid team. They're probably not as highly ranked as maybe some of the other ones. I mean, you still got Purdue coming up here in another week, a couple of weeks in Birmingham, which will be another potential top 10 net team that you'll have on this schedule. But Ohio State's a good team, really talented guard, the guy that Auburn recruited out of high school, out of Atlanta area. So he'll get back to he'll have a chance to come back and play in front of his home crowd Saturday. And so this is a team that's done some pretty good things this year, has a couple of big wins, a couple of kind of crazy losses, but they had a couple of injuries that have bothered them too. So at full speed, this is going to be a challenging game. And so for this Auburn team, it's another opportunity to bolster that non-conference schedule heading into SEC play.
You know, one thing again about football, Jason, I don't know if you saw it or even took a deep dive into it. Barry brought it up this morning. The SEC released the football schedules for 2025, and Auburn doesn't have a home conference game until what, mid-October?
October the 11th.
That seems a little odd.
Yeah, it's a little odd. Last year you have 5 games at home before you go on the road, and you're gone the whole month of October. This year you don't have one until October. I don't know. That's the thing about it. When you have 16 teams, there's just no way to balance out a schedule. You just can't do it. And, you know, you look this year, people have talked about schedules from other leagues and, you know, whether it's Indiana or whoever it is, Texas' schedule not very good either. You look at them, and they're a team that was a shoe-in for the conference and for a playoff berth, and the best 2 wins they have over a 4-loss Texas A&M team and Vanderbilt. That's the 2 best wins Texas has this year. You cannot have it balanced. You just have to deal with it, move on, and that's part of the expansion life. You go, okay, hey, you want all the money? Here's all the things you have to deal with, and that's part of what how this thing goes, and it's part of the playoffs. When you know, okay, there's going to be a bunch more teams when you play in this league that have more losses. I think, 2 years ago, I don't think any of us would have expected that there'd be a bunch of 3-loss teams that were still thinking they had a shot at the playoffs. Well, that's the way things turned out, with the schedule and the way things played out. I think you have to adjust a little bit, but I think that life in this league is not going to be balanced. It's not going to be balanced anywhere. I saw next year that Oregon and Ohio State don't play each other in the Big Ten. So you're looking to go, man, if you can avoid those games, then you're going to give yourself a much greater chance to go out and succeed. But Auburn didn't avoid many of those. When you have Alabama, Georgia every year, you're not avoiding them all. But when you throw in, road trips, I think out of the first 4 weeks, Auburn will have 3 Big 12 road trips because you have a trip to Baylor to open the season. Then you have Oklahoma and Texas at 3 and 4. So 3 out of the first 4 weeks of the season, Auburn will make flight trips to old Big 12 schools. And so you're traveling a bunch early to get this thing going as well.
Do you think we're closer or further away from going to 9 conference games?
Further away. I think
so too.
So do I.
It feels that way when you start throwing out non-conference schedule excuses because you're saying that it's too difficult. In the back of your mind is, well, the entire schedule is too difficult. So if it's already too difficult now, then you're not going to add to it. So I think we're going away from it. It's kind of that old argument. You go, like, you can only play the schedule that you're given. So teams like SMU and Indiana can only play the schedule they're given. The other argument's always been, what's more important? Good wins, good losses, or not losing those games at all. This year it showed up that the most important thing was not losing those games. And so I think bad losses probably showed up more this year than they ever have. I think you eliminate some of those things by continuing to play at 80. I don't think we're any closer. I think we're much further away from 9 games than we were at this time last year.
Well, let me pose this question in the same way. With the hiring of Deion Sanders and what he did to kind of change the landscape at Colorado in 2 years, although he hadn't won 6 Super Bowls, Bill Belichick to North Carolina, are we getting closer or farther away from what people are calling the NFL model? And what is that anyway, Jason?
It's not what we have in college, because the NFL model, if you sign a guy to a contract, unless you cut him, he's still on your team. I don't know what we are, to be quite honest. It's just a free-for-all is what we are right now. Honestly, don't know what it is. I think it's a really interesting hire in some ways. In some ways, I just don't understand it in other ways. And People will talk. You'll talk about Deion Sanders. If Bill Belichick had a first-round NFL draft pick son to bring with him, it would make life a lot easier. Make this transition along with a guy like Travis Hunter. He doesn't have those things now. Apparently, they're going to have some money. We'll see how it works. I don't know. It's an interesting time. I mean, heck, and you think about it. In the Big 12 has 2 return coaches to their same schools, in Scott Frost and Rich Rodriguez. I mean, it's just a wild time, and I don't know. Are you bringing back an NFL GM that hasn't worked in a decade to head up something he's never done before? I mean, it's still college football, and you still have to go recruit. That's the thing. I mean, you can have the NIL stuff thing, but there's still a relationship involved, and I just don't know how Bill Belichick is able to navigate those waters with 16, 17-year-old kids. I'm just imagining.
My final question. Yeah. You've been following talent procurement for a long time. It was always high school recruiting, now so much NIL stuff and transfer portal stuff. If there is one rule in terms of acquiring the services of a student athlete that has got to change, and it's got to change now, what does that rule need to be?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think you got to give coaches a chance to get back on the road, head coaches, to watch guys and to build relationships. It's still an important part. And this now, you've eliminated that with this schedule, with going straight to the transfer portal and early signing day and all those things. Coach, you don't get a chance to get on the road very much. I think you got to give guys a chance to go back on the road. And I know the schedule's busy. I know they say they don't have the time crunch, but the one thing that they do want to do is have more time on the road because they want to see guys and talk to them. I still think that's got to be a part of it somewhere.
Yeah, kind of like it used to be. You're right about that. Jason, man, we always appreciate your input and analysis. I know you're very busy. You mentioned there in Mobile, Alabama, Mississippi All-Star practice and that game coming up. Let our viewers, let our listeners know how they can get more involved with what you do at Auburn Undercover and how they can follow you.
Yeah, you can check us out at auburnundercover.com, part of the 24/7 network. And like I said, tons of stuff going on from here in Mobile. Later today, all kind of portal stuff. We'll get back and do some portal things this afternoon into the weekend and basketball as well. So check us out there and follow me on Twitter at ITATJason.
Always a pleasure, Jason. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, buddy. We'll check back with you next week. We're live here at the Montgomery Regional Airport, getting better the more you use it. Barry, obviously a lot of people are using the Montgomery Regional Airport today while we're here. That first early morning push saw a lot of people coming through the terminal. There are a lot of people getting ready to board their flight, the next flight out. Barry, one thing I've noticed this morning, people travel with a lot of luggage. I have seen a lot of baggage go through this terminal this morning. And
yes.
I'm thinking, baggage fees kind of bug me, but I know it's kind of part of the deal. And so I try to work it out through some credit card that they'll pay to handle your baggage fees for you or something. You don't have to pay them or whatnot. But people still travel with a lot of baggage. I'm noticing that here this morning.
I was traveling in the Houston airport, Houston Hobby, not George Bush, but Houston Hobby. It was pretty busy and everything. There was this little kid, maybe 5 years old, a little girl. She had on the toboggan cap with little bear cub ears and everything. They're pink and all that. And she's got a little rolling suitcase, 5 years old, 6 maximum, little rolling suitcase and everything, backpack on. Suitcase was almost as big as she was. Backpack on her back looked like something you might see on the moonshot or something like that. And I'm thinking, what in the world does a 6-year-old kid have to carry around? I mean, it had to have been 40 pounds worth of stuff. I'm thinking, she's 5.
Yeah.
You need your teddy bear, or in the case of my granddaughter, your kitty cat. You got to have your toothbrush, couple of changes of clothes, that's it. You talk about bringing in a lot of baggage. Kids these days, man, I mean, they are seasoned travelers.
Now, this man just checked some golf clubs. Are you going to play or have you been playing? Going to play. All right, hit them straight. Loading the golf clubs up, heading out of
How many times do we see that?
We see it a lot. Because a lot of people coming in to play the trail, and they'll come in and, of course, bring their golf clubs with them. But this gentleman's heading out to go play, and very convenient, easy to do here at the Montgomery Regional Airport. Matter of fact, I'm doing something similar to that in about a month, as that gentleman's doing. So very easy. We're here live at Montgomery Regional Airport. The reason we are is because we want to promote the fact this is the easiest way to travel. Convenient parking, a few short steps away from the terminal building. You zip up the escalator to TSA, and you're right there at your boarding gate, ready to go to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, or Washington's Reagan National, where you can make connections to points all over the globe from those locations. Or if you're just maybe going to one of those 4 locations, very convenient. But when you're coming back, Barry, there again, it's so easy. Get off the plane, get in your car. Pretty simple.
Well, couple of other things we're going to get to. Topic Wheel's going to be really busy.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis Mitchell, he chimes in on our River Region Straw chat line. Barry, who will get the Jack State job now that Rich Rod is gone? Your thoughts. Scroll down a couple of chats, Dennis. Jason Jones says, along the lines of NBC, is he returning to previous jobs, UCF and West Virginia? Scott Frost back to UCF, Rich Rodriguez back to West Virginia. Does Bill Clark go back to Jacksonville State? Or does Jack State go after Neil Brown? Gosh, no. Bill Clark makes a lot of sense, but I still think he may be involved in other cycles and other jobs as
we
well.
talked to Coach Clark a couple of weeks ago here on the program, Barry. I just get the sense that if Bill Clark, and I think he deserves it, I think he's proven himself, I think he's going to get a look at maybe a bigger program than a Jacksonville State. I could see maybe possibly a Power 5 looking at Bill Clark. I mean, what he did, bringing UAB back from the dead.
And now they're returning to the dead. So anyway, that's all interesting stuff. We appreciate all of our chats as we broadcast live from the Montgomery Regional Airport. Go to flymgm.com and travel above with John Longshore, Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight presented by Bud Light.
Book tee time sooner. Save on every round. That's what you get with the 2025 RTJ Trail Card. Destination Golf is closer than you might think. Buy a 2025 Trail Card and save every time you play. Plus, you will be automatically entered into the Trails Loyalty Program. Enjoy 10-day advance reservation privileges at each location. 11-day advanced internet tee times on rtjgolf.com and the RTJ app. Enjoy the benefits of a 2025 Trail Card. It makes for a great stocking stuffer, and you save on every round you play in 2025 on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
You know all about the 12 Days of Christmas, but what about the 12 Days of Dixie? We're giving away 12 of this year's hottest holiday gifts. Just go to facebook.com/Dixie Electric Plumbing Air and comment on the daily prize post using the hashtag 12 Days of Dixie, and you're automatically entered to win. The winner's name is posted on Facebook the following day with the opportunity to enter daily. The 12 Days of Dixie is going on right now.
That's why I always don't like to mute my mic, Barry, because I forget to turn it back on when we get back from a commercial.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, getting close to the top of the hour, Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, will be joining us, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. The freshest seafood available is right here in Montgomery on Norman Bridge Road, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. You can call ahead, 288-4272. Your order will be ready for pickup. And Barry, during this holiday season, ladies in our audience, we have many that are out there. We appreciate the ladies. Love preparing a dish around Christmas time using fresh seafood, maybe an oyster casserole, put a little shrimp on the table as a little appetizer.
Oyster stuffing.
Oh, yeah, man. David and that crew at Destin Connection have got the freshest. So for all of your holiday cooking that needs seafood, that's calling it in the recipe, go out to Destin Connection and get the freshest available. That's simple.
Now, tonight, the Rams and the 49ers from Santa Clara.
Yeah.
That's on Amazon Prime. The Seahawks are leading that NFC West. Seahawks have gotten hot. They've won 4 in a row. But LA is 7-6, San Francisco 6-7. They still could challenge if they finish strong. This is a big one here tonight. We're talking a lot about Bill Belichick. We hadn't talked about it a lot. We had people, on the chat line, telling us what to do. Chris the Bammer, spin the wheel. Hey guys, what about Bill?
Does he just hit copy and paste every day? Spin the wheel, spin the wheel.
Yeah, he's got.
You actually type that in every morning.
Yeah.
Okay, all
but
right.
you've got the reason why we haven't talked about it until now is, quite frankly, neither of us thought it was going to happen.
No kidding.
It is, again, an NFL model. That's what we're talking about with Jason Jones, about an NFL model. The NFL model is in college. This is what North Carolina is doing, and it's pretty smart. North Carolina is betting. They're going all in. When it gets to the point, July 1st is the date. July 1st, 2025. Okay. College athletics will take another giant leap. They are permitted, as of July the 1st, to begin directly paying players under a salary cap type system related to what they call the House settlement, the antitrust thing with the NCAA. Now, the implementation date is July the 1st. But they're not contracts. Now, contracts will be a thing. You'll be able to offer players money. There will be a salary cap. North Carolina is saying, okay, that's going to happen. We're going to be able to pay our own players. I don't know how all it's going to work, because do they pay taxes on it? Can they get fired? And all that. I don't know. But what North Carolina is doing is saying, okay, if that's what we're doing, we're going to get the best we can possibly get at doing that. And that's why Belichick had a 400-page thing. They're asking him, hey, what is this going to look like? He says, well, you're going to need a head coach, obviously. You're going to need a general manager. Like Jason said, it'll be Michael Lombardi, who's worked with him before with the Patriots. You're going to need to get a salary cap manager. Kind of like what you have in the NFL. John, when it gets to the point, and it will as of July, when the schools can directly start paying players instead of just NIL collectives, you better be ready to go. And North Carolina has taken the first big shot. Not only are we going to be ready to go, we're going to be going with the guy who's been more successful at it than anybody else in NFL history.
Yeah, that's smart. And got 3 years to implement that plan and to put it in place. That is very, very interesting. Hey, you going to play, or have you been playing? Going to play.
Like it. Good to see you, man.
We got a lot of golfers coming through the terminal today. I'm asking them if they've been playing or are they going to play. Where are you going to play by any chance? Where are you heading? Whoa, I'm going in a month. Awesome.
I'm going there in a month too.
Awesome. Well, I'll look for you. Man, that's fantastic. Have fun. Man, that's a lot of golfers coming through the terminal here today.
Yeah.
He's going to Sonny Bono Airport, Barry, in Palm Springs, named after the former mayor.
Too bad there's not a Sonny Bono ski slope.
Whoa! Wow.
I think I know
Man.
why.
Yeah. Anyway, Belichick. That's pretty good. It's almost like that drummer from Def Leppard when you dropped
With
that
one
one on
arm.
me. Yeah, when you dropped that one on me, I went, "What? You
Yeah.
gotta be kidding me." So I heard some guys talking about this earlier, Barry. What do you think ACC Media Day is going to be like when Belichick shows up? You think Belichick's going to ACC Media Days?
Yeah, he's got to go. It'll be like, I mean, it is the Sabanist thing since Saban. You know, it'll be very Saban-y, where, you know, he'll come in, I don't know, they'll have trumpeters, you know, you'll have little babies strewing rose petals in his path as he walks through and everything. It's college athletics in this day and age, and I'm not sure I love it, but here we are.
You think we could get credentialed to the ACC Media Days? I mean, they do it up. You know, Barry, I've been a little critical of where Greg Sankey sends us on Media Days. Dallas was fine. It was nice. It was a nice change of pace. But I'm done with Atlanta. I'm done with Birmingham. Nashville's pretty good. I mean, they're going to these fancy resorts in the ACC. They go to Amelia Island. They go to the Greenbrier. They go to Sea Island. I mean, how come they're going to these nice spots and we're some dump hotel in downtown Atlanta?
Dump hotel? That place was great. Are you kidding me? I don't know.
It's the only thing I get the ACC. I don't know. That's the only thing that they do right. Okay, the Tighter Insider, Rodney Orr, is ready to go. He's joining us here, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Always appreciate Rodney's time. Hello, Rodney. Hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing really well. We've been waiting to ask you this, so let us ask you this. Reaction to Alabama being left out of the playoff, Rodney. Can you enunciate that? Can you put it into words?
Well, I can give you just, first of all, my perspective of it. I mean, I just think I said last week, will the committee show consistency? And frankly, I don't think they did. I know some people say they did. I know some Alabama fans actually say they did. And on one hand, maybe they did. But to be honest with you, I mean, Miami has a better resume than SMU. I mean, if you look at strength of schedule, you look at the criteria laid out by the committee. Not this past Tuesday night, but the Tuesday night before. When they placed Alabama ahead of Miami, they basically said Alabama's resume based on the criteria, strength of schedule, wins versus top 25 teams, etc. Those things are the priorities. Those are what matters. And they placed Alabama ahead of a 2-loss Miami team. But Miami has a better resume if you look at those criteria than does SMU. I get that SMU made the ACC championship game. But look at their schedule. I mean, it's pathetic. It really is. Now, at the same time, I'll say this. Alabama's performance at Oklahoma was pathetic, right? So I'm not really upset about the fact that Alabama didn't get selected as much as I am that, there's no consistency here. They talk about fairness and equity. Well, when you play a high school schedule versus playing an SEC schedule, there's a difference. And I think that should be considered. Now, again, it's not just Alabama. It's Ole Miss. It's South Carolina. These are teams that deserve to be in the playoffs above teams like SMU. And this, again, I give all credit to Rhett Lashley, the job he's done at SMU. But if you look at the schedule, ask yourself this question. I mean, what are the playoffs supposed to be about? They're supposed to be about getting the 12 best teams. That's what it's supposed to be about. And ask yourself, if SMU played in the SEC, how many games do you think they would have really lost? I don't think they would have gone through some of these schedules with probably less than 3 or 4 losses.
Well, you know, it's
So
interesting that you bring that up, Rodney, about scheduling, because I think there's been some confusion out there. And I've heard people taking shots at Nick Saban and Greg Byrne about the comments they made about scheduling. The way I heard it, Rodney, they weren't so much talking about this year's schedule. They were talking about schedules in the future, where
you're right.
Alabama's got Ohio State, Notre Dame, and
That's
two
right.
Power 5 non-conference opponents. And they're thinking, why should we do that if schedule strength does not matter? And I go even further, Rodney, in saying they didn't bring it up, but this 9-game conference schedule, you can forget it. That isn't going to
Yeah.
happen. They're going to
Well, I wouldn't
stay
do
at
it.
8 because if schedule strength doesn't matter, then we're going back to the mamby-pamby way of
Yeah.
scheduling.
Why would you want to play another SEC team? Because that's how tough the SEC is. I mean, to me. So listen, I'll be honest with you. Again, I know I went on a little rant here but it's not about Alabama not getting in. It's about, come on, let's look at this fairly. And Tim Brando or whoever else can go out there and whine all day long about, SMU should get in, that whatever it is that these teams like Alabama, these traditional powers are giving precedent. They're giving precedent because they're playing better teams. They play better schedules. I mean, it's not even a comparison. So what do I say do? I say go to the Super Conference, the SEC, the Big Ten combined, get your top 60 teams, SMU, whoever else that wants to play, these schedules that they play, they can play in a lower division. But again, and I'll say this, and I'll stop my rant. I'm not upset that Alabama didn't get selected because Alabama could have done better themselves.
No
they
doubt.
they kind of made their own bed. So it's not really about Alabama.
I wanted to ask you about this in terms of the season as a whole, with still a game to be played. Put it into perspective from Alabama fans. 9-3, just outside the college football playoff. For a lot of schools, they'd be clicking up their heels. What about the fan base? What about the expectations of this Alabama program? Now that the regular year is over with and we know Alabama's bowl destination, how does this year feel in terms of the expectations with the Alabama program?
Well, you guys are going to say Rodney woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. That's exactly what you're getting ready to say. I'm a big Kalen DeBoer fan. I believe he's an outstanding coach. So this isn't about, anything like that. And I think he's here's what I would say. The transition year is now officially over. The clock is now ticking. It's time for Kalen DeBoer to make roster moves, whatever personnel he feels that he needs to go out and get. He needs to do it in the portal to supplement this great recruiting class that he put together. I think if he feels like there's any hint of a need for change on his staff, I would not delay. If a guy's not producing and recruiting and developing players at his position, you need to evaluate that. You need to evaluate what's going on the inside too. You brought guys with you. I'm sure you're going to keep those guys. Are there guys that have held over? Do you want to make more replacements? What do you want to do in your overall organization there? I think it's time. You got to make those changes now. If you feel like there's any, I'm not saying there's any that need to be made, but you've got to evaluate those things. He's got to evaluate his staff. All of these things, because the clock starts ticking right now. Again, the transition year is over. Things happen in a transition year that aren't really smooth, right? And I mean, I think we saw that. Everybody should be able to understand that. He took over a very difficult situation. And I think he managed it extremely well up to the season. And then when the season got here, there were some ups and downs, which you kind of expect. But now, like I said, the transition is over and it's time for him to start putting his stamp on the program.
Rodney, do you think he will make changes to his staff?
I have no idea. I really don't. That's a good question. But I'll say this, again, I think he's got to thoroughly evaluate that staff, and he's got to say nobody's entitled to a job. That's the way Nick Saban approached it, when he was first here. He made changes after that first year in 2007. He changed his offensive coordinator for one, Major Applewhite. He went and got Jim McElwain, and they won 2 of the next 4 national championships. So I think you got to make difficult decisions. And that's the question that Alabama fans, you're asking, what are Alabama fans saying? Well, a lot of Alabama fans are asking that question. Can he make the difficult choices and decisions that probably need to be made? Or if let me rephrase that. Can he make those decisions if he feels they need to be made? Not just kind of stay the course. I think it's really important.
This is just my opinion, Rodney. I'm not locked in like you are, but it's my opinion that last year in the transfer portal, Alabama had some significant losses, most notably Caleb Downs. They lost a pretty significant amount in the portal last year. This year, I don't really think they have. Do you?
No. I would agree with you. I think that everything so far, every player that's hit the portal has been expected. I don't think there's anything that's caught them by surprise. And again, I think they've done a fantastic job when it comes to retention. Last year, too, for that matter, given the circumstances. So I'm really, as I look at it, I see a lot of positives. But, there's little things. There's little things that you have to do. There's sometimes changes. We talked about the difficult decisions that you have to make. And it's going to be interesting to see, how they handle that. But I'm with you, Barry. I think that, so far, I haven't seen anything in the portal that strikes me as that would catch anyone off guard.
So on the other side of the coin, are there guys that are visiting Alabama from the portal, say this weekend or next, that you think could be difference makers potentially coming in?
Well, they got 3 coming in at least. I think coming in starting today. I think Kevin Concepcion is a tremendous wide receiver out of North Carolina State. He's been there 2 years. He's caught 124 passes for, whatever it is, 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns. He was the ACC Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago. He's a really outstanding wide receiver, playmaker. Luke Haas is the tight end from Arkansas. I think he's a fantastic player. He's had some injuries. He's about 6'3", 240. He's a real playmaker as a receiver, too. I mean, he's a really good player. He almost came here out of high school. He's from Bixby, Oklahoma. So he's supposed to come in for this. Now, I know this. I've been talking to my people over there at Ole Miss because he's visiting Ole Miss. He visited LSU. And they believe it's between Alabama and Ole Miss for Luke. And I think I think he's a fantastic player. And then Kelby Collins was a guy that you guys remember Alabama recruited out of high school from Gardendale, defensive lineman. A couple of years ago, he went to Florida. Didn't have a great year this year, only had 6 tackles, but he's a big kid. He definitely has some ability, 6'4" or so, 280. Alabama needs defensive linemen. So he would be a big pickup. And there's talk that Patrick Kutas from Arkansas, offensive lineman, 6'5", about 315, that he may visit Alabama as well. Now, I know that Ole Miss really wants him. He was one of the players from the Arkansas roster that they really wanted along with Haas. So we'll see.
So, Rodney, I ask you this when it comes to recruiting, and I think you just touched on it with defensive linemen, but areas of need other than defensive linemen, when they're going through this transfer portal and trying to find some players, in your mind, what areas do they really need some help in?
I thought they needed a couple of offensive linemen. So I think that's something that, to me, to have 16, 17, whatever, you may have to replace Tyler Booker. The more competition, the better. I don't know what's going to happen with Elijah Pritchett. He's not in the portal. I'm not speculating that he's going in the portal, but there has been some, just rumor anyway, if you want to put it that way. So we'll see about that. But that's where a guy like Patrick Kutas from Arkansas, because he's played so many positions, he's played all the positions across the front. So offensive line, I think it's going to be interesting to see running back. I hear Jam's coming back, Jam Miller. I hear he's coming back. I hear Richard Young has been solidified that he's coming back. So you got two really good ones there. The question is, does Justice Haynes return? There's been some buzz that maybe he might hit the portal. So far, he has not done that. And so we'll see what happens there. A wide receiver, we mentioned Concepcion coming in. I think you probably need another guy. I won't be surprised if another guy emerges at wide receiver. Just kind of thinking in the secondary, linebacker, I would say potentially inside linebacker, definitely, if you can find the right guy because you're losing. I expect Jahad Campbell will go to the NFL. That's my guess. I think you may want to get someone there. I do think Deontay Lawson is coming back. Now, I'm not saying any of these are 100% because you guys know how this stuff works.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the just going off the top of my head, going through position by position. I think certainly, you could use guys at all those spots and maybe even safety.
There's one name you hadn't mentioned yet.
Okay.
Jalen Milroe.
Well, we're saving the best for last.
There you go.
I think Milroe's gone. I think I don't think his stock will ever be higher for the NFL, really, to be honest with you. I think it's not a great year if you look at the depth of NFL prospects as quarterbacks in this draft. So I think it's probably a good time for Milroe to trickle on to the NFL. Probably be a good move for him. I don't think he's going to the portal. That's just my guess. I think he's probably going to the NFL, but I do not expect him back at Alabama.
So you've got a race during the off season. I know Dylan Lonergan is going to enter the portal if he hasn't already. I think that announcement has been made. Handicap the race to replace him if that is indeed true, to replace Milroe.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because if you look at, if Dylan goes as he's reportedly doing, which I expect, you're losing Milroe and Dylan. So that leaves you with Ty, Austin Mack, Keelan Russell. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. That's three. You really want four. Nowadays it's hard to have four. But I guess what I'm leading to is and I don't expect Alabama to go to the portal for a quarterback right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah.
But that could change. I'm not saying it, but Ty has been around. Obviously he's been around. There was high expectations from him. I know he's a really talented guy. I know that there's a lot of confidence that he's a guy potentially that could be a really good player at the quarterback position. There's no doubt Ty has all the tools. The question is, does he take the bull by the horns and kind of convince everybody? I think Austin Mack obviously has a lot of potential.
That's going to be an interesting race. Yeah, there's no doubt, Rodney. That is, I know people are asking us that every day. I know they're asking you as well. To me, it's kind of Ty Simpson's time.
Yeah, it is.
He has been there. He's been with the program. He knows what's going on. To me, they're going to give him every chance to be the starting quarterback.
John, a lot of people ask, what about Keelan Russell? This guy's a fantastic talent. I hear this staff is really and extraordinarily high on him. And I agree with all those things. That's the word. That is the word. But here's the thing about him. And that is, he's a young kid. Do you want to go into SEC with a true freshman quarterback? He better be extraordinarily talented because, like I said, the clock is running. And there is nothing more valuable than an experienced quarterback in the SEC. That's my opinion. Okay. So, Ty has been around. Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of playing experience, but he's got some, and he's been around. He's matured a whole lot. So we'll see. It's like you said, it is Ty's time. It's Ty's time to step up and be that guy.
Here's an aside to what Rodney's talking about. If you haven't gone on to social media and seen, I think it's the Duncanville football account. If you haven't seen the video of Trayvon Diggs sneaking in to practice and awarding Keelan Russell the Gatorade National Football Player of the Year award. You need to take a look at that. That's really cool. That was just yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's on the front page there at TiderInsider.com.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Better believe it.
Absolutely.
Rodney, in terms of opt-outs, to your knowledge, is everybody going to play in the bowl game?
I haven't heard of anyone that's opting out yet. I know that Kalen DeBoer seemed really confident on Sunday night that everyone for the most part would play in this game. He was really confident that they would not have a number of opt-outs, that most of sounds like all their key guys are probably going to play. Now, here's the question. Are they going to practice and play the first quarter and kind of, bow out? There's been some talk that maybe Milroe plays a little bit and then they hand it over to Ty. And maybe even Austin Mack. I don't know. Now, again, that's just been talk. That's been discussion. I don't really know how it's going to play out, but that's kind of the talk. I mean, how much do these guys actually play? But it does sound like that, they're really confident.
Interesting. Awesome stuff. It's all interesting. Rodney Orr, Tider Insider, still one of the best values on the internet. How do people get involved, Rodney?
Well, it's TiderInsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get instant access with your credit card if you prefer. There is an address there to send a check. Gives you all our premium information, obviously, and then also our All Sports Forum, which is part of our premium there. It's our community of Alabama fans. It's a great community. It gets lively. I got lively today here on the show. It's nothing compared to what happens on Tider Insider. But I saw you guys waving there. I don't even know where you are, but I thought you were waving. I thought you were telling me to shut up or something.
No. We're actually out at the airport this morning, Rodney. We're waving by the passengers that are leaving from the airport today.
I thought you were saying, hey, okay, that's enough. Okay, I got you.
No, we got people that we know. They're coming by. They're waving to us as they're heading up to their gate. So
awesome.
Sorry about that confusion. So, Rodney, man, always appreciate the time. Did want to ask you about this. Obviously, the basketball team's getting back on the court this weekend, going up against Creighton. Had exam week off, and I know they're excited to get back on the floor because it's been a couple of nights since they've actually been out there playing.
Yeah, a lot of excitement, coming off the way they performed down here. They beat Houston. They beat Illinois. They had the big win on the road at North Carolina, where a lot of Alabama fans thought, they're going to North Carolina. It's going to be tough. And they played extremely well. So it seems like Nate Oates and his staff are really right now bringing all of this talent together, and getting them to play well. So everyone's excited about, what this season holds right now.
It is going to be, it has been and will continue to be really, really entertaining, as is Rodney Orr. Rodney, thanks very much for the time.
All right, guys. Take care. Thank you.
You too, buddy. We'll talk next week. That's the Tider Insider, Rodney Orr, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road here in Montgomery. Call ahead, 288-4272. Your order will be ready for pickup. All of your holiday cooking that calls for seafood, get the freshest available at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. And how about that oyster po' boy or maybe grouper po' boy, fried shrimp po' boy for lunch today? Go by and see him at Destin Connection. You'll be glad you did.
Okay, here's the backstory. We're at Montgomery Regional Airport, hence the backdrop back here. Right here in the terminal, we got the American desk in front of us, Delta over here, all the way down there.
Is that Greg Byrne? God looks just like him.
He did. He's not as tall, though. But speaking of that, we were waving at somebody as they were leaving and heading out. That's our buddy Greg Meeks. Greg lives down in Troy. He's been a friend of mine for years and years and years. John, I doubt, and his wife too, she's awesome. I doubt that we have said a word on the radio or here on this program until today that he has not heard. He is a constant. As a matter of fact, he was, he's the one we're waving to because I know Greg. He's been I've known him for forever. I didn't know he was flying in from the Montgomery Regional Airport today, but it's like, hey, look at him. And so I look back. They're already in their car. They're not trundling all of this luggage 3 miles down there. They're already in their car. They've been in their car. Guarantee you he's listening on Spotify right now with his wife. He was listening to the end of Rodney Orr. He's listening to our shout out here, Greg Meeks from down in Troy, Alabama, one of the great Americans out there. If he travels the Montgomery Regional Airport, shouldn't you?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, all this hullabaloo about, well, you know, I got to go to Atlanta to get on a plane. Why? Because you're going to get caught in a traffic jam or some interstate construction. And if you miss your flight, they're going to go, hate it for you. And they really don't hate it for you.
Yeah.
But they're going to say that to you because they don't care.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you made that choice to park in a parking lot 4 miles away from the terminal. You got to get the shuttle bus. That lady's not going to help you get your luggage on the shuttle bus. I can promise you that. She's going to basically throw you out of the bus at curbside. You got to find your way around on your own. Got to sit through TSA for 2 hours. I kid you not. There are stories about TSA lines in Hartsfield taking 2 hours to get through. And then when you come home dead tired, you got to get back on that shuttle van, drive 4 miles to that parking lot, pay an exorbitant amount of money to get out of that parking lot. And then you look over at your wife or whoever you're with and go, will you drive? No, I'm going to sleep. You're driving. Don't put yourself through that.
Speaking of TSA agents here, they're the nicest and everything.
Sure.
You just zip right through. I have a theory. There are a lot of TSA agents around the country who are retired local men. Because they have that same heart, you know.
They do.
Men, hey, why'd you retire from being a local man and now a TSA agent? It's not because they lost their shirt. It's because there was too much emotion in being a local man. So they went to TSA. TSA is looking at you. You're like, do I have to, because airports are different. Have I got to take my phone out and put it in the?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, not a lot of emotion, but that's not what you're going through TSA for anyway.
That's right. We want them to be thorough, no question about it. Well, let's take a break here. We've got a lot still to get to with Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here. It is Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hey, tomorrow we're at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville. Looking forward to being up there in the preferred community of Prattville, Alabama. And so many great deals on Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram products at Stivers, where price sells cars. Barry Kirk on our chat line asked a question here
go with that.
that we can certainly ask here today. And Kirk wants to know how many airlines fly into Montgomery Regional Airport. Well, Kirk, I got the answer for it because we're looking at the ticket counters.
Yeah.
Right now, you've got Delta and American that fly into Montgomery. And from MGM, you can go to 4 destinations, whether you're heading to that destination or making a connection to points all over the globe, because they are 4 of the biggest airports in the country: Atlanta, Charlotte, DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport. So you have 4 direct nonstop flights. There are about 12 to 13, 14 flights a day that leave and come into Montgomery. So a lot of convenient options for you. We've talked about it, Barry, since we've been coming to the airport. We've noticed that the type of aircraft that comes into Montgomery is getting larger.
Yes.
The reason
Just like
why?
Leon.
Yes. The reason, because people are utilizing the airport. The more you utilize the airport, more routes open up, like the route to Washington did several years ago.
Yes.
Bigger aircraft are coming into Montgomery Regional. The largest regional jet that Delta has, it comes to Montgomery. It's a CRJ 900. One of the larger aircraft that American has, an ERJ 145, comes into Montgomery as well. So, and you know, even first class options. I'm looking at that board behind the American counter. That's the board I look at when I come up to the ticket counter. That's showing where you are on the standby list to possibly get bumped into first class. So that lets me know right then and there, am I going to have to do some schmoozing or am I in good shape? So if I have to go to the
And
schmoozing,
how much schmoozing do I need to do?
to move myself up that upgrade list.
John is great with this, and I really appreciate it because I didn't know what all that was. But I remember going with him one time when we did a show at Victoryland, back when they had the sports book up there. And I said, John, what is all this? And he went down, he says, well, that green thing right there means this. Over there, this is, you know. He's really good at explaining multicolored television screens to me.
Yeah. The buzzing, the bleeping, the colors. It's kind of like a slot machine.
One more thing.
It attracts my attention, even though I'm not a slots player.
Did you know that MGM set a record for Thanksgiving travel? A 2.5% increase in overall passenger traffic compared to last year.
Yep.
Which was also another really, really busy area. MGM says its busiest travel dates during the Thanksgiving holidays: Tuesday, November 26th, Wednesday, November 27th, and Sunday, December the 1st. So yeah, you're listening to us.
Yes, you are.
You're believing in what we're saying. The more you use it,
the better it gets. There's no doubt. You know, I fly out of Montgomery probably 5-6 times a year, maybe more, maybe less, but that kind of feels like what I do. It's such a convenient experience, and I can't emphasize enough, when you are home, you're at home. You're not getting in your car and driving 2.5 hours away, probably at 10 o'clock at night. Why would you do that? And I get it. Well, I've got a family of 4. I'm telling you, if you just do a little research, it doesn't take a lot of effort.
Right.
Just a little research, you can find some really competitive fares. And when you factor it all in there, isn't your time worth something? And you don't want to sit in some traffic jam or so. That's what irks me. You know, and I will admit, I do kind of feel sorry for these people. You know, it's kind of like people that go to another car dealership and come back to Stivers. We see it's okay. But these people that go, yeah, you guys were right. I was going to go through Atlanta, and I got stuck on 85 in a traffic jam or construction zone, and I missed my flight. I should have listened to you guys. Should have listened.
Sometimes the epiphany comes in the restroom. Sometimes, like with Big C, it comes in the bathtub. Sometimes the epiphany comes to you guys sitting in a traffic jam in Noonan, Georgia. You know, you think, they were right.
Yeah.
I told him. I told him that, no, they don't know what they're talking about. They're right. I'm never going to do this again. Okay.
Chris the Bammer is going berserk. He says, for the love of God, please spin the wheel.
Yes. And there's an expletive in there as well. Chris loves the wheel.
He's
I
a
don't
big
know if
wheel
he
guy.
loves our take on the day's sports events or if he just loves the bright colors. But
I don't
we
know.
better spin the wheel, otherwise Chris is going to.
Yeah, Gern, can you? Oh, there it is. Whoa, look at Gern. Whew, man, look at that wheel. Are you kidding me?
Very
Let's
nice.
spin this thing. It's the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We got it spinning for you there, Chris, and it is going to land on TNF, which is Thursday night football in the National Football League. Look at that. Got some pomp and circumstance going on there. We got a good one tonight. Rams at the 49ers.
With potentially some playoff implications, potentially.
Yep.
If they keep winning. It's at 7:15 on Prime. The 49ers host the Los Angeles Rams. Critical NFC West matchup. The Seahawks are in position in the NFC West. They're 8-5. They've won 4 straight. They're only a game up, though. They're 8-5. The Rams are 7-6. And San Francisco 6-7. San Francisco still has an outside chance. Christian McCaffrey probably done for the year. Not real sure. But yeah, if the Rams can continue to play well, they could continue to put pressure on Seattle at the very top. Again, tonight on Amazon Prime, 7:15, it's the Rams at the 49ers.
I'll probably check a little of that one out. Checking about week 15, Barry. Saints hosting the Commanders. Interesting. I'm sure they've played since then. But I saw the Saints play, they might have still been the Redskins back then. With the night Drew Brees broke the NFL record for either the most passing yards or touchdowns or something
like that.
And he threw this pass, and the place went berserk. It was a Monday night game. We took the boys down there. They were out of school. It was like Columbus Day or something like that in October. And
like John ever worried about what holiday it was.
Yeah. I said, well, they don't go to school on Monday. We'll go to the Saints game. And the place went berserk. It was a great game. They played the Commanders that night. Might have been the Redskins. They're hosting them again on Sunday, even though the Saints have got major issues. Derek Carr got hurt again last week.
Yeah, he may be done for the year. Taysom Hill is gone. Pets' heads are falling off.
When you're a home dog of 7.5 in the NFL, that's a huge dog in the NFL at home.
It is. All right.
Chiefs at Browns. How about your buddy Gunner?
Yeah, Gunner's having a tough time right now.
But the Chiefs are only a 4.5-point favorite on the road.
The Chiefs are winning. The Chiefs win left and right like crazy and everything, but they're not winning big this year.
They win by 3 points. That's a good point there. Yeah, Bengals at Titans, Ravens at Giants, Cowboys at Panthers. Jets and Jags. What do you think?
I think the Jags
Jones
can win it. The Jets. Aaron Rodgers is a cancer on that team.
Mac Jones against Aaron Rodgers? How about that matchup on Sunday?
The Jets, it's been longer for the Jets to have been in the playoffs than it's been for the Jags to be in the playoffs.
Ooh.
It's been 14 years since the Jets, I'm talking about even made the playoffs. I'm not talking about winning a playoff game like the Cowboys. I'm talking about just making the playoffs. 14 years. That is definitely the longest stretch in the NFL. That might be the longest stretch in the Big Four professional sports.
Barry, we got to hear from Robbie from Greenville. This is a rarity in the NFL. It happens, but not all the time. An in-state rivalry game, Steelers at the Eagles, Pittsburgh at Philadelphia on Sunday, the Battle of Pennsylvania. Wonder what Robbie thinks about that. He's a big Steelers fan.
That promises to be a good game.
Yeah,
it really does.
I think it does.
Love the Eagles. They'll try to pound the Steelers. But then again, I wasn't real sure at the very beginning, but Russell Wilson has gotten his feet underneath him, and he is playing really, really well right now. Promise, don't freak out, Chris, because we're going to take a break.
Yep.
We'll have that pretty multicolored wheel spinning when you come back.
Don't you worry.
To the Montgomery Regional Airport. FlyMGM.com and travel above. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, folks, you got to take advantage of the incredible holiday savings at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where they sell America's best-selling truck for 50 years in a row, the F-150. And you can get an F-150 at 1.9% APR for 60 months or up to $15,000 off MSRP and no payments for 90 days. Hundreds to choose from. Your F-150 is on the lot right now. Also, F-150 Lightnings, $15,000 off MSRP and 0% APR for 72 months. What about the stylish Ford Bronco? Up to 10 grand off MSRP, starting as low as $34,990. And it started it all with the Ford Explorer. You can get one for up to 8 grand off MSRP, as low as $33,900 and 1.9% APR for 66 months. Folks, Stivers Ford is loaded with cars, trucks, and SUVs priced to sell. Stivers Ford, 4000 Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders. Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Short McKnight, listen, we want to make sure you are in our bowl prediction contest. It's very easy. You go to yellowhammernews.com. Yellowhammernews.com. Their homepage will pop up. You'll see the Longshore McKnight bowl prediction icon right there. You can't miss it.
Beautiful.
Cannot miss it. You click it, you read the instructions, you fill a couple of things out, and you start clicking the teams that you want in the bowl prediction contest. Tell your friends, tell your business associates, tell your relatives, spread the word, because Saturday at 12 noon is the cutoff point. That's when the contest is closed, so you got to get in before Saturday at 12 noon. So you got a little more than 48 hours to get in on it, and you are going to be buying for a $1,000 travel voucher from the Montgomery Regional Airport to travel to any point on the globe. It's your choice.
And you also get the corollary benefit of wherever you go, people, hey, you see that guy?
Yeah.
That guy won the Longshore and McKnight Bowl prediction contest. Him? That
Yep.
guy doesn't look smart enough to follow direct. Oh, really?
This is
Yeah,
a true story, man.
Yeah.
I've shared it many times before. I don't think I've ever shared it to our viewing audience before, but several years ago, I'm actually getting on a plane here at Montgomery Regional Airport, and I did not make it on the standby list, so I was a little grumpy. Other people had more priority than I did,
Yeah.
which doesn't take a lot. And so I'm just getting on the plane. I'm looking for, 27D or wherever I'm sitting. And so I'm working my way down the aisle, and this guy kind of tugs at my pants leg, and I look down at him. He's enjoying a nice cocktail, a pre takeoff cocktail as you get up front,
Probably not a rum and Coke, probably
Yeah.
something, with, I don't know, little Tito's in it or
That's
something.
right. He's enjoying himself, relaxing, easing back, the whole deal. He goes, bowl prediction contest winner. And I went, whoa, wait a minute. Really?
All these little old ladies behind him with their little rolling carry-ons are like, "Ooh, what?
Yeah.
What was that?" And, they're sitting back there, they're looking around saying, let's go. And John says, really, who'd you pick?
I'm just going.
Yeah.
The point of the story is the perks that come along with it that you're not expecting, maybe moving up that standby list to get
Yeah.
bumped up to first class. I don't know if this guy got bumped up or maybe he's just got enough frequent flyer mileage or whatever to get in first class, but he let me know, hey, bold prediction winner right here.
Now, we do get an interesting one here from LSU. Mark, he says, so we don't get to enter just before each game with the opt-outs. That can be difficult.
Hey.
Yeah, you think it's difficult for you guys entering the bowl prediction contest? How about if you're a coach?
Yeah.
How about if you are a legal bettor somewhere?
Yeah.
It ain't easy for anybody, Mark. It isn't
better
supposed to be
believe it.
easy. If it was easy, everybody would be winning it every year.
They
And
certainly
instead,
would.
it's only one.
And Mark, thank you for reminding me. Today is Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was yesterday. Thank you, Mark. I
Hey,
appreciate
I'm sitting
that.
here before I'm driving up to the Montgomery Regional Airport today thinking, okay, I wonder what games Lee Sterling's got. No, oh. So anyway, back to the
Let's spin the wheel.
back to the wheel. Let's get that going.
Let's see what we got.
Victoryland 777 topic wheel.
And as we spin it, what comes up next? Shula.
Don?
Not Don.
David?
Not David. It is Mike Shula. Mike Shula. We kind of touched on it yesterday, Barry. I don't think it got its due. Mike Shula has been elevated to the offensive coordinator at the University of South Carolina. He is the new Gamecock offensive coordinator. Moved in. I think he was just a, what do they call that?
He was a senior
Analyst?
offensive assistant.
Yeah. Now he's the OC there in Columbia. I'm happy for Mike. I think Mike's caught a lot of crap, a lot of crud. He came into Alabama at a very difficult time. He came back to Tuscaloosa this year when South Carolina was playing the Tide. Did they give him any type of reception or recognition? No. I think they should have. Maybe that wasn't the appropriate time to do it. But you got to show this guy some love. I mean, you fired him, and I get it was tough. It was a difficult situation. But, I mean, the guy stepped in at probably the lowest of lows of Alabama football. A former player led you to victory against Georgia in Athens on Labor Day night, threw that incredible block on the Al Bell reverse to set up the field goal from Van Tiffin. And that's how you treat this guy? I don't get it. Mike, congratulations, buddy. I'm proud of you.
I got to tell you, when he got fired, I was in team unfair. You know, I remember John and I were doing our show on remote somewhere. I want to say it was the mall or something like that.
Yep.
And I got to say, why in the world did they do that? And we had so many callers that would say, oh, it needed to happen. No. Oh, come on. He did a really good job. His dad, I mean, he was a great quarterback at Alabama. His dad at the time was the all-time winningest coach in NFL history and everything. Why in the world isn't Mike Shula getting the benefit of the doubt to keep on at the University of Alabama? Came in at a difficult time. I was Team Shula at that time. But since then, the market has spoken.
It has.
He has never been a head coach ever since, to my knowledge, and I've been paying attention. I haven't heard his name mentioned in other head coaching searches.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, never. No, he was the former head football coach at the University of Alabama. And you know what he's done? Nothing wrong with it. I like him. I'm a believer in him. But since then, offensive assistant, Tampa Bay.
Well,
coach's assistant, Dolphins. Tight ends coach, Bears. Offensive coordinator, Buccaneers. Quarterbacks coach, Dolphins.
Okay, I get it.
Quarterbacks coach, Jaguars. Quarterbacks coach, Panthers. Quarterbacks offensive coordinator, Giants. Quarterbacks coach, Broncos. Senior offensive assistant at Buffalo for 2 years.
Ouch.
Senior offensive assistant at South Carolina. His first venture back into college came 30-something years after he left college. And he only is the offensive coordinator now because former offensive coordinator Dowell Loggins, not
Kenny
related to
Loggins?
Kenny, I knew it. Dowell Loggins got the head coaching job at Appalachian State. I stand corrected. The market has spoken. Evidently, Mike Shula wasn't exactly a hot commodity.
Give me a brief rundown before he became the coach at Alabama. Where had he been prior to being the head coach of the Crimson Tide?
Okay, he graduated college in '87 with a degree in labor relations.
Yes, at a biology lab with Mike. He's a nice guy.
Offensive assistant for Tampa Bay.
Okay.
After, he got drafted by the Buccaneers.
Ray Perkins gave him that job.
Yes, exactly right. 12th round pick.
Okay.
Then, after that, he became a Buccaneers offensive assistant for 3 years, then the Dolphins for 2 years, then the Bears for like 3 years as a tight ends coach. and then with the Buccaneers for 4 years as an offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach with the Dolphins for 3 years before he got the Alabama job. So he came to Alabama from Miami.
All right, so he's had a tough go.
And since, I mean, it ain't that tough. He's made NFL coaching money, which
he's probably got an NFL pension. He's been in the league
pretty
so long.
doggone good, but it's never, you've never heard Mike Shula is a finalist for the head coaching position at anywhere.
Maybe.
I mean, Mike Dubose, I think, was a defensive coordinator at Millsaps for a little while afterwards. But
I'm just going to just take this path. Maybe Mike doesn't like being a head coach. Maybe he likes being that assistant role, things of that nature. I don't know. I mean, you're still making pretty good money. You don't have to deal with all the headache. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there as a possibility.
Well,
we're going to head back to the Victorland 777 topic wheel in just a second. Need to take a quick break. And as we go into that break, let's bring in our friend Brian Reynolds, the director of golf at Cambrian Ridge on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail down in Greenville, a short drive from anywhere in central Alabama. And Brian, man, it is Christmas time. It is trail card time as well for 2025.
That's right. We've got the trail cards on sale still to the end of the year. You save $5. We've also got a great deal online for the RTJ gift card. Right now, we've got a special where if you buy a $200 gift card, you get $25 free. So take advantage of that. Buy a couple of those, save some money, use those gift cards for golf throughout the year or merchandise, or they're able to be used in our food and beverage. So we got some great deals online right now at rtjgolf.com.
And of course, Brian, in your pro shops, you're full of merchandise, you're full of apparel. So anybody that's on that Christmas list, the golfer in your family or a friend of yours, hey, great quarter zips, winter apparel for those guys that want to get out on the golf course when it's a little chillier, or maybe some great deals on some equipment too.
That's right. End of the year on equipment, new stuff will be coming out in February, March. So we still got some stuff in the shop. So we'll make some deals on some folks if they're looking for drivers, wedges, putters, bags. Hey, we can send you out here with a big bag or a little bag. It's up to you.
Man, that is outstanding. Of course, you can go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information, or they can call the pro shop right there in Greenville to get everything they need to know and get that trail card lined up to stuff in that stocking.
That's right. Just give us a call. Just remember these trail courses, whether it's my course or Will's course or Joe's course over in Auburn, hey, we've got them overseeded. They're lush and green right now. So don't go play those dormant brown courses. Come play a lush green course right now. Come to the trail.
Hey, there you go. The tee times and more information, Brian?
Just give us a call at 382-9787 or go to rtjgolf.com.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Great stuff from Brian. I'm telling you, Barry, the trail card pays for itself after you use it once, maybe twice. You get to use it the entire year. So any golfer on your list would love an RTJ trail card because you're going to save so much cash.
And also some of the merchandise in the golf shop under somebody's Christmas tree.
Yes, sir.
That'll make their holiday.
Yes,
Stand by. More to come in a moment. We're live at the Montgomery Regional Airport in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Book tee time sooner. Save on every round. That's what you get with the 2025 RTJ Trail Card. Destination golf is closer than you might think. Buy a 2025 Trail Card and save every time you play. Plus, you will be automatically entered into the Trails Loyalty Program. Enjoy 10-day advance reservation privileges at each location. 11-day advanced internet tee times on rtjgolf.com and the RTJ app. Enjoy the benefits of a 2025 Trail Card. It makes for a great stocking stuffer, and you save on every round you play in 2025 on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail.
The Victoryland Casino 8 Days of Giveaways is going on now. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. We're giving away $125,000 in free play and cash. That's right, Victoryland Casino is giving away $125,000 in free play and cash. Come play the latest and greatest games featuring exciting bonuses and huge jackpots. There's always more ways to win at Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
You know all about the 12 Days of Christmas, but what about the 12 Days of Dixie? We're giving away 12 of this year's hottest holiday gifts. Just go to facebook.com/Dixie Electric Plumbing Air and comment on the daily prize post using the hashtag 12 Days of Dixie and you're automatically entered to win. The winner's name is posted on Facebook the following day with the opportunity to enter daily. The 12 Days of Dixie is going on right now.
Hey, we're back here at Montgomery Regional Airport, getting better the more you use it. Hey, make sure, can't emphasize this enough because you got a little over 48 hours to get in the bold prediction contest. Go to yellowhammernews.com. You'll see the icon, Longshore McKnight, bold prediction contest. Click it, read the instructions, submit what needs to be submitted. Take less than 5 minutes. You could be the winner of a $1,000 travel voucher from the Montgomery Regional Airport to get you to points all over the globe. Go for it. Do it right now. And, of course, Barry, yellowhammernews.com, each and every day, there's a write-up. There's a little brief write-up synopsis of what the show was about that day, video content included. So you can always get a recap and refresh of what we did earlier in the day. Of course, our show is streamed all day long.
Yes.
So we're live from 7 to 9, but you can watch it at any point in time that's convenient for you. Go to Spotify. You can listen to it there. I know we have a lot of listeners on Spotify that listen throughout the day when it's convenient for them. There's content on Instagram, on X, on our Facebook pages, at longshoremcknight.com and Yellowhammer News as well, their Facebook page. So check it all out. So many ways to check out what we do here. We greatly appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your business associates, your relatives. Hit that like button, hit that subscription button. Subscriptions cost nothing. It just sends you notifications so you know when we got new content.
This is what I love about Yellowhammer News. I've already subscribed to to the newsletter and everything, get all the latest news and opinions and stuff. You go to yellowhammernews.com. Again, right on the very right is the Longshore McKnight Bold Prediction Contest. Right above it, boom, right at the top, right underneath politics, business, faith and culture, sports, about, more, and the search. You can listen right now.
Yeah, you can listen right now.
How easy is that? Just click it at yellowhammernews.com. You can listen right over the good old internet as well.
It's great.
All right, here we go.
Let's go. We spin that wheel. Chris is getting anxious. We got more topics on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Let's get it loaded up, greased up, and spin that wheel. What is coming up next here on the topic wheel? Barry, we hadn't talked about this all week. It is Saturday before the bowl game here in Montgomery. It is the Heisman Trophy ceremony, and I got to tell you, who are the finalists?
They announced that over the weekend. 2 quarterbacks, 1 running back, and 1, I don't know what it is. The finalists are Ashton Jeanty from Boise State, Travis Hunter from Colorado, the quarterback Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, and Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami. I used to have I'm not a voter in a lot of this kind of stuff. I used to vote in the Bear Bryant Award for Coach of the Year before, I'm not supposed to be part of the story. But if I had a vote, I'd vote for Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State. Here's what I love about the 4 finalists. Jeanty has been at Boise State the entire time. Dylan Gabriel started at UCF. Cam Ward began his college career at Incarnate Word. And Travis Hunter began his career, it's a little bit different because he was the #1 overall recruit in the country, at Jackson State. So UCF, Jackson State, Boise State, and Incarnate Word. There is good football. There are good football players at every level of Division I. That's what I love. Everybody gets all caught up in, whoa, this guy is the #1 recruit out of the University of Georgia's class, and who does Texas? There's a lot of great ones. A lot of them can be found if you just look a little further.
Barry, you look at the starting quarterbacks in the NFL and look where they played college football. I think that's always a good measuring stick
Yep.
right there, because you'll look at some of these guys and go, he played where?
Yep.
What? Didn't know that.
That's
So
exactly right.
who's your favorite? Who's going to win it?
If I was voting, I'd vote for Ashton Jeanty from Boise State, because Travis Hunter, if he was at Boise State, they'd be good. With Ashton Jeanty, they're a first-round bye college football playoff team. He has had an incredible year, and he has elevated everybody else.
Yep, that's going to be interesting to watch. That'll be Saturday night.
Yep.
From the Heisman ceremony, and then Barry, that will roll into South Alabama, Western Michigan, that are playing right here in Montgomery at Crampton Bowl. They're kind of kicking off the bowl season on ESPN in prime time Saturday night. We were talking to some of our friends here at the Montgomery Regional Airport. Western Michigan's been coming through the terminal, renting some cars, flying into MGM. So glad to see that. And it's amazing the people they see coming through the airport. A lot of football coaches come through this airport. We found out over the years.
Yeah, Chris has been a buddy of ours for a good while over at the Hertz Counter. I always likened him to the old Police Academy show.
Yes.
Whenever they got the shoe shine guy, every once in a while I'll text Chris and I'll say, hey, any coaches coming through? Oh, yeah, man, such and such and so and so.
Oh, yeah. The coaches come through. They get a car at the Hertz Counter, and Chris knows, he's our shoe shine guy here at the airport.
That's right.
All right, Barry, tomorrow we're at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville, where Price Sells Cars. Going to tell you all about the great deals going on, the holiday savings event happening right now at Alabama's largest volume Ram dealer. And it's not just the state of Alabama, Barry, also Northwest Florida. That's right, Northwest Florida, the entire state of Alabama. Nobody sells more Rams than Stivers in Prattville.
And here's another pro tip as well. We are right now, December the 12th. John, it is not too late if you've got holiday travel to be able to secure extraordinary airline deals at the Montgomery Regional Airport at flymgm.com. You say, oh, it's too late. I'm not going to get any good deals. It's already December 12th for my holiday travel. I've waited too late. You have not.
No, you have not, Barry. That's a great point. Glad you brought it up. A lot of holiday travel about to begin. Heck, you'd think it was happening today with all the people coming through MGM this morning while we've been broadcasting. But yeah, a lot of holiday travel. Make sure MGM is a part of that. Check it out, flymgm.com. Great deals. They got it all up there for you. Very simple to navigate. Get your best deal and the convenience and the ease of traveling and coming back to the Montgomery Regional Airport. You'll be glad you did it.
For all of our friends here at the Montgomery Regional Airport, for our guests, Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com, and Rodney Ortider, Insider.com, our great producer, Gurn Jr. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and